Hey guys, I am showing you how to foam roll today, okay? There's my foot. Yeah, we're gonna foam roll. So I have a foam roller that I purchased, I believe, a few years ago when I was doing a ton of running. I had really tight IT bands and I just could not get it to go away. It was actually jeopardizing whether or not I was going to be able to do a race that I had been training for months and months and months. And I knew for years prior that foam rolling would have helped me all along the way, but it was something that I just didn't make time for. And once I started incorporating it regularly and seeing the benefits, I continued on. And you know, to be honest, I do go in and out of waves of doing it and not, but every time I do it, I think, why don't I do this more often? So typically I try to do it at least twice a week. This is something you could do every day if you wanted to. There are many different reasons to foam roll. It can be to just help to loosen up those tight muscles and connective tissues. It can be to help flush out lactic acid that might be just staying in your legs, making them, just contributing to that tightness and that soreness. There are a lot of reasons. It's also pretty relaxing. It feels intense, especially if you haven't been doing it for a while, but right after, I always stand up and I think, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. I need to do this more often. So grab your foam roller. Things about foam rollers, if you don't have one and you're interested in one, and I'm gonna get started soon, but they do make different firmness of rollers. Mine's kind of medium. The kind of typical roller you're gonna see is gonna be this gray material that is usually a little more firm than what I have. And just to give you the heads up, your first couple of times rolling, it's gonna feel intense. It's a deep tissue massage that you're giving yourself. A couple of tips on that. The surface you are on will also affect the intensity of the pressure that is being created between your body and the roller. And you'll also have, to a certain degree, some control over the amount of weight that you put into the roller. But what I wanted to say about the surface you're on is I'm on a pretty hard surface today, so that's not going to give me any absorption besides my body and my roller. If I were on a really nice cushiony carpet, that would absorb some of that pressure and it would actually bring down the intensity of the foam rolling session. So I gave myself a couple options. I've got my hard floor and I've just got my yoga mat, so that'll give me a tiny bit of cushion, and I think I'm probably going to take advantage of that. So let's get started. We're going to sit on our roller to get started. So you're going to take it right behind you and get right up on it, okay? So we're starting with rolling out our glutes, okay? So I'm going to turn a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. And actually, you're going to turn too. I want you to come from evenly over your roller to leaning into one side. And we're just going to start rolling over that side of your glute. We're taking this in halves, okay, right and left. And you're trying to just take nice long rolls. Something that you might experience throughout this as well, guys, is that through a lot of these rolls, we're going to kind of be holding ourselves up. So you might feel a little challenged in your upper body just holding yourself and pushing yourself through these rolls. That will get better too. I want you to just start angling this, so I'm going to make sure that I hit kind of like the side of each side, the inside, the center, and the outside too. And really, you should be doing each roll for at least a minute, 60 seconds up to 90, okay? But honestly, if you don't have time for all that, do what you have time for. Maybe hit your target areas. Guys, we're gonna go to the other side, okay? Let's get started on that other side. So I'm just gonna position over here, make sure I'm grounded with my hands and my feet. And then I start rolling over that glute, okay? Those get pretty tight from working out. Also sitting doesn't help a whole lot. But back to time that we spend on each side. Even if you need to do a mini session and you've got time to take it to each area for 30 seconds, go ahead and do it. I will often do a even more abbreviated list than what we're doing today. And today, by no means am I showing you everything that you could do with a roller. Let's make sure that we're starting to angle that so you're hitting it from all directions. We're focusing mainly on the lower body together today. I'll show you a couple for your back as well that feel kind of nice. Yeah, there are some upper body rolls that you can do as well. I might touch on those in another video at another time. Okay guys, so we have rolled our glutes, okay? So now where we're gonna head, we're gonna start working down the back of the legs. And the next place we're going is to our hamstrings. So top half of your leg, back side. Okay, we're gonna roll from the beginning of where the glute is, and then we're stopping before we get to the back of the knee. I don't want you to roll over your knee. That's a no-no. So let's get started in the center. We're gonna do both legs together for now, okay? So I've got it about center of my thighs. This is where you're gonna be lifting yourself up. So I'm lifting up and I'm just gonna start rolling. And I'm gonna start kind of small, and you saw I repositioned my hands. I realized that wasn't gonna work as good as it could if I moved a little bit. And then I want you guys to keep going. I'm gonna show you something from another angle, okay? So I want you to start rotating your legs. You're gonna turn it out. And that rotation is originating from my hips. So I didn't just turn my feet out at my ankles, okay? I did that so I can start to roll just again, all angles of these muscles, okay? So you got that little external rotation. And now I'm gonna point my toes back up forward, and I want you to flex your toes back. Okay, so not only are we doing this pressure treatment, but pointing your toes back is going to encourage you to lengthen the back of your legs, which will help to stretch them. Now let's go pigeon toed. We're gonna point the toes in, get kind of on the inside, just a little bit of your thigh. And we're gonna hit that inner thigh separately later. So don't worry if you're not getting it too good here. The legs don't really turn this way a whole lot. And hit it one more time. We're gonna point the toes straight up and roll it really good from just above your knees right to the beginning of the glutes. Take it last time here. And then we're gonna sit down behind the roller. So we're gonna keep working down. We're headed to calves next. And similar rules apply. We're staying away from the knee, so I'll start just below it. And I'm gonna roll down to my ankles, okay? I'm gonna point the toes back while I do this. Another thing I wanna mention is that if you want more pressure, so I'm gonna start in the center of the head of my muscle. I'm gonna lift up, toes pointing straight up and back. I'm just gonna start rolling it. This is one you're gonna feel, okay, yep, I'm holding myself up. Okay, so another thing I wanna mention is if you feel like you really could tolerate a lot more pressure, you can take it to one leg. And you can do that. You could do that. You could have done it with your hamstrings, the one we just did before this. You can do it easily here as well, okay? If you did it on one side, make sure you take it to the other side. Try a couple rounds, a couple rolls that way. If you need to take a break, okay? This is a long time to be holding yourself up off of the floor, okay? And the last thing we're gonna do here on the calves is the same we just did with the hamstrings. We're gonna turn out so we kind of hit these calves from all directions. So my toes are turned out, getting along the outside of those calf muscles. I'm gonna start slowly turning them back in. Don't do it all at once. And then I'm gonna take my feet a little wider, so my legs a little wider so I can point my toes in. Okay, if my feet are really close together, I really can't get that turn. Okay, feels kind of nice. Let's take one more over the center, so bring your legs a little closer again. Legs are parallel, toes pointing up. Good roll here, and release down. All right, guys, so we're gonna turn around. The next place we're going to is the quadriceps, so the front of the thighs. And these will tape together. Okay, so I want you to start right behind your roller. Okay, make sure you've got room in front of you to come out over it. So I think I should be good there. And I'm gonna try to land with the center of my thigh on that roller. Okay, so right there is good. I'm gonna come onto my elbows. Okay, so I'm pointing my toes straight down. And I'm just gonna kind of find a place. I don't come forward a little bit. So that should be good. I should be able to draw myself forward and back using just the connection between my arms and the floor for that. Something I want you to watch out for is that you don't do this, okay? Keep pulling your back, pulling your belly in. Don't dump into your lower back. Let's keep that spine long, okay? You don't need to get all pinchy in that lower back. No one wants to get hurt foam rolling, okay? And I didn't mention it, but as you can see again, I am not passing over my knees. I kind of sense when I'm getting close, and then I'm starting to go back up my legs. And we're gonna angle it here as well. This one gets intense, okay? You're gonna start to notice where your muscles are holding onto some tension. So I'm gonna move around a little bit. I'm turning my toes out now. So my heels are pointing in towards one another. My toes are turning out, and yup, that is a spot that stretching is not getting to. That is tight, okay? So when you come into those areas that the pressure just gets really intense, don't skip over them, don't avoid them, but you can, actually what I would do is I would sit, I'd find that spot. So for me it's there. I would just kind of sit on it and take maybe 3 breaths, and that's gonna start to work it out. Take a few breaths there. After you've done that, go back to your rolling. Okay, let's turn those toes back down. If you want to try to point the toes in here a little bit, you can. Come to kind of pigeon toe. We are going to be getting into the outside of the thighs next, so the creme de la creme of foam rolling is, I think, the IT band. The IT band is a hard spot to stretch. Our legs don't really bend in the direction that they would need to bend in order to get a great IT band stretch. So pressure treatment is a great option there. All right, so let's talk about that. Okay, we're gonna come on to one side, and where we are headed is to the IT band stretch. So I'm gonna position the roller to my side, and this one's a little tricky, so I'm gonna do kind of a slow motion. Do it with me, okay? So I'm rolling my leg that is closest to the roller. This top leg is gonna be really involved in guiding me, moving me through the roll, as will my hands as well. This bottom leg, we're gonna take it almost straight. So I'm reaching it now. It's kind of threaded between my top leg and the floor, okay? Here we go. So we're gonna try to roll along the length of the outside of the thigh now. So starting below that hip, not passing, not going over the knee. This is gonna be good. So we're gonna come up. Oh yeah. Center of the thigh. And I'm gonna use both hands here. I'm gonna reposition my legs so I'm supporting a lot of weight here and here. I'm trying to take a little out of the roller because this is gonna be intense. You're gonna start rolling the length of the side of your upper thigh, okay? And try not to turn away from this. We're gonna do the same thing we've done in several of the other rolls, being we're gonna kind of turn and re-angle, change the angle. So I'm just starting to turn forward a little bit. Okay, so that's getting close to my quad again, front of my thigh. Take a couple there. And now I'm gonna start turning back this way, really taking it, right through the side of my thigh, getting right on that IT band, and it's intense, but I can tell you it's already feeling better than my first couple of rolls here. Okay. All right, so we're gonna come down. We'll take it right to the other side. So I'm just gonna switcheroo. Okay, and so remember, the bottom leg is the leg that's getting rolled. Top leg needs to be our guide. So I'm gonna bring that over, get grounded into it, getting grounded into this hand first, and then I'm gonna start getting that length ready through my rolling leg, that bottom leg. Here we go, and we're up, okay? Find your spot, rest it down, and we start to go, okay? Yeah. I'm trying to stay on the side for now. Take several rolls there before you start to turn your angle. Maybe like four or five. All right, now I'm gonna start to turn forward a little bit. Ooh. Make sure you keep breathing, guys. I find that when anyone's doing these a little more aggressive stretches or any kind of intense massage, we have a tendency to get tense and hold your breath. Make a point to keep breathing. Start bringing it back to that side. Get one more here. And we're gonna carefully come on down. Okay, I'm gonna show you a couple more for your lower body, and these can be kind of tricky to find. The first one that we're doing is for the hip flexor, and so we're trying to get right in here, okay? Find your hip bone, kind of that spot right below it. So this is interesting to find. We're gonna do this in halves. You really will need to. So I'm gonna take my roller and I'm gonna be on an end of it, okay? Because I can't really go through it. I can't. So I'm gonna kind of get on that end here. I'm just trying to lay right into that hip flexor. And you kind of know when you find it because it's almost like you put that puzzle piece together and it just fits. And you can just lay on it. If you want to, you can try to come up, push your weight right into that spot. If you are gonna roll, it's really small, okay? And when I roll forward, my foot actually comes off the floor a tiny bit, and that's normal, okay? It's really a small roll. I don't even think I'm moving 2 inches, okay? And this is a spot that gets really tight if you're sitting a lot. Another way you can stretch this one would be standing, taking a quadricep stretch where you're pulling your heel towards your glute, and then think about pressing forward through your hip point, so you're just creating length through that hip flexor area, okay? Guys, let's go to the other side, okay? I'm gonna turn it all around, and I'm just trying to create right about there, okay? That's where I'm aiming. So find your hip bone right below it, okay? So here we go. Come on down. I'm gonna turn, there we go, and rock it out, okay? Remember, it's a good one to just lay into if you want. We're gonna head after this one, we're heading to just an adductor and inner thigh roll. And then I'm gonna show you a couple of things that you can do that just feel really nice. I'm gonna show you a roll for your upper back. I do wanna mention, you really should not be foam rolling your lower back, okay? You really have very little protection around your spine in that area, and you don't need to be pressing into it with all your body weight. When we roll over the upper back, you do have some protection up there. You have your rib cage, things are kind of just held together in a more structured and safe way. So we'll do that. It's one that should feel really nice, but don't roll your lower back, okay? Stretch your lower back. All right, guys. So let's go to that inner thigh roll. So this is an interesting one. I'm gonna face the roller straight towards me, and I'm gonna do kind of like a little half frog leg thing to come out over it, and then I'm gonna reposition my roller where I need it. So I'm starting on this side. I'm gonna come down, and I've got my leg is out over it, okay? It's pointing out. Now, and again, this won't be a huge roll. I'm just gonna get it going. So I'm mostly using my arms to push myself forward and back, but my non-rolling leg and foot are also helping me to do this. Okay, and I'm gonna try to keep this leg bent. And that's a real interesting one. Definitely finding those tight spots. All right, you're just gonna roll to the other side. So I'm gonna take it over. There we go. Switch right there. So I've got my other leg out over it now. Reposition as needed. And we're gonna roll. Take it over and back. And again, I can kind of tell like right there, it's probably where I need it most. Go ahead, keep going, guys. But if you find those spots, sit on them for a second. I can tell that's a spot for me. It's a good place to pause for a couple of breaths. Take just a couple more. All right. So let's do a couple that feel just really nice. One thing I want to do is we're going to roll the upper back, and I'm really not coming, I want to point out that I'm not coming onto my neck. I'm going to start this just below my neck, and then I'm gonna roll about to here, so about halfway down my back. I'm not gonna come down into here. I'm not rolling my lower back. I'm gonna try to keep my hands here. You'll want them to support the weight of your head. And I planned ahead. If you have a ponytail, you need to tuck it up right now, okay? I have a hood on today, so we're gonna put that up to get me in a good spot to show you this one and not get caught up in the roller. But here we go. So that roller comes right behind you. And so I kind of find it, I like to find it against my hips. And then I'm gonna roll it back a few inches, okay? So maybe like 4 or 5 inches. And then I'm gonna start coming down onto it. Now, you're gonna need to use your legs to lift you up, kind of like you would in a glute bridge. And let's get the head supported. So my hands are supporting the weight of my head. I'm drawing my elbows out. And now I'm gonna lift up onto the roller. So I come up, might need to reposition my legs a little bit. I'm trying to let those elbows open, and I'm just gonna start guiding it over the back of my upper back. This is where I'm stopping, and then I'm coming back forward. I like to come to about where, like if I could see myself, I think that my elbows are like right in line with that roller. That's as far as I'll go forward because I am going to stop before I get to my neck. Okay, and that's really nice because that will roll the back of your shoulders a little bit too. And with that in mind, you can angle this one. You don't really angle so much. You can barely see the change. But like right now, I'm putting more weight into my left side. Okay, so I'll take a few there. I'll come over to my right side. So I'm going to kind of lean into my right rhomboid. And when I get up near the top there, getting the back of my right shoulder. Guys, if you have tight lats, this is one I'm just going to point out. You can take it here and reach your arm and roll your lat, okay? That's a nice one. You can transition to here. You can support if your neck's getting tired. You can support some weight of your head. Take it to the other side if you took that one. So I might need to turn a little bit. I'm gonna get close to that wall. But you get the point, okay? So that's just targeting this spot right here, okay? The last thing that we're going to do is lay on the roller, okay? So I'm gonna lay right on it, and I'm bringing it now so that it is going to run straight up my back. And I want enough room so that I feel comfortable and supported. And I'm not gonna use this to roll. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna lay back, and my roller's a little smaller than the standard roller, so you might have room on one of those kind of more standard gray ones. I'm just trying to let that roller support me up the length of my back. And the reason I'm doing this is to actually just get a chest opening stretch. So now, with my body just slightly elevated, I'm gonna take my hands and let them rest down, okay? This can be pretty intense. If it's too much, you can try doing this just laying on the floor as well. You could also get some pillows, place a pillow under each arm so your hands aren't all the way on the floor. And then if you're feeling really comfortable in this, play around with it. Maybe try bringing those arms up a bit. Maybe even reach them up overhead. But I'm trying to keep close to the floor, okay? So this is just, again, a nice chest opener and a nice stretch through the front deltoids, shoulders. Okay, just end right here, taking a deep breath. Let it out. And do that one more time. Deep breath in. And let it out. All right, guys. So that is a little bit about foam rolling. I hope you enjoyed it. This is a good investment. I'm sure you can find them on Amazon or at any sporting goods store, usually around $30 to $40. It is a good investment. I feel so much better than the beginning of this video, to tell you the truth. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message. I'm happy to give further explanation. I also have some materials that I could send you that kind of coincide with the rolls that we did today. All right, I hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time.